Right. Hi everyone, welcome to the video. This is, of course, as you know, a Q&A for me reaching 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. Doesn't quite sound real saying that. Well, I hoped that one day, I did set out a goal that after 1 year that I'd reach 5,000 subscribers, but to do it this fast after, what, 8 months, 9 months is amazing. So thank you to everyone who subscribed, and also thank you to everyone who's watched, liked, shared, commented on any of my videos. It means the world to me. I really do enjoy doing this stuff, and I'm only just getting started, so hopefully with all of you and many other people in the future that might come across this channel, we can make this grow, and we can give badminton somewhere to be telling all the proper stories, you know, highlighting the athletes, highlighting results, etc, etc. Try to make badminton on YouTube more than just racket reviews, equipment reviews, and tutorials, and maybe some vlogs as well. So yeah, I'm trying to add another element to it, but I think a few of the questions that I've been given, I'll go into more of that. Talking of which, thank you to everyone who sent in their questions that I asked for. Way too many that I can answer all of them, so I've tried to pick, I think, between 5 to 8 questions from a range of topics. So it's a little bit about myself, a little bit about predictions for the Olympics. I'm sure you probably clicked on the thumbnail for that one. Pretty sure the thumbnail is going to be angling towards that a little bit more than myself, because that will get more views. Anyway, let's crack on with the questions, starting with this first one. What encouraged you to become a YouTuber? What encouraged me to become a YouTuber? Well, if I'm honest, it all stemmed from when I started. I mean, I've always enjoyed making videos. I mean, I did it when I was at school. I did it a little bit throughout my playing days and afterwards. And then obviously I did stuff with Swift Badminton. Some of you might know me from there. And I've always liked making videos and editing stuff. But it was when I started doing the BWS stuff at the start of lockdown. So in 2020, telling all those kind of stories and facts, stuff that I've always been interested in, always kind of had an eye on. But the thing with the BWS stuff was it's very limited because it was for social media. So the videos had to be, some of them I did like 5 minutes, but generally speaking 2 to 3 minutes long, sometimes even shorter. So as you can imagine, for some stories, you're basically scratching the surface. And when I was researching a lot of those videos, I just knew there was way more to tell. So I felt that I always kind of had this idea in mind that, well, I should just do this for YouTube. I could expand on it. I could really get into these stories and tell them to the depth that they should be told, so everyone can kind of get a better understanding of the sport. What also, what's the word, encouraged me, encouraged the wrong word, because, you know, more motivated, was during the lockdown. I ended up, like a lot of you, probably watching a lot of YouTube videos. And I started to kind of like get drawn into some content, like long form content as well. We're talking like an hour, 2 hour videos on subjects that I wouldn't necessarily have found overly interesting. You know, like video games. I mean, I play them, but I didn't have like a real great interest in it. Athletics, horror genres, you know, analog horror, ARGs, all this kind of stuff that, you know, is mildly interesting. Someone mentioned it to me. I never thought that I'd ever sit through an hour, 2 hour video, but I found myself doing it because the videos were engaging, they were interesting, and done from the perspective of just one person. So I was thinking to myself, and I was seeing these channels get lots of views and lots of comments from people in a similar position to mine that, you know, I wasn't into this stuff, but now I am, or I've just found this really interesting. And I thought, well, badminton has always had this, you know, it's very popular sport, but especially in Asia, but in Europe and America, it's not so. Maybe a way to get people more interested. I'm not saying this is going to solve badminton's PR issues, etc., and make it a globally major sport. But I thought, if other YouTubers can do it for subjects for me and other people, why can't I do the same for badminton? I already wanted to do that stuff. I already found it interesting. I already, from the stuff I'd already done for BWF, saw that people liked what I was doing, so why not do it for YouTube? So last year when I got back from holiday, I was like, right, no matter what, let's start it, let's do it, and then the rest is history. So what encouraged me was kind of, I felt I really enjoyed it, I loved it, I was going to do it anyway, but I also felt that maybe this could actually help badminton, as well as help not help, but be something enjoyable and entertaining for badminton fans already, which has kind of turned out to be true. So yeah, right, that's first question done. Okay, this one is similar but slightly different. What's your greatest motivation to do these long and exhausting videos? Please do a vid for Jill Clark. I will definitely do a video on Jill Clark. Researching my latest video, been going through all these old World Badminton magazines, and there is so much on her, not just from her playing, but when she got into commentating, and she was also writing articles for these magazines that went out every 2 to 3 months. So there's a lot, and there was a lot of information on her that I found out. Also, she is the voice of badminton, had a great career, and maybe some of you don't know this, but my mum and her were on the same team because Jill's a bit younger than my mum was, but they played on many of the same teams, played against each other, possibly played with each other once or twice, maybe in team events. So yeah, I actually had an idea for a Uber Cup video when England got the silver back in the 80s, because I've got some photo album that will have some photos in it that no one's ever seen, so it could tell quite a cool story. So yeah, that's the Jill Clark one. What's my greatest motivation? Well, I kind of touched on it already, is I really enjoy telling the stories, and I like looking into them and taking out every bit I can. And so for me, say for example, the Momota one I did is probably the longest, minus the Vittinghus one, which was split into 2 parts, but the Momota one's like the longest one video I've done, or the Asian Games one, or the Minions one, is that I want to tell the whole story. You can't tell absolutely everything, but I don't want much to be left out. And the only way you can tell someone's entire career when it spans a decade or more, even 2 decades, it's going to be long. I just really, really enjoy it. And I know that, yeah, it's hard, but I think people would appreciate the effort put in and they will enjoy it. And using the Motor one as another example, most of the comments have been incredibly positive, which is fantastic. People saying this is like an amazing tribute, tells a whole career. I felt like I can, and fans have said that I followed him all the way through his career and I feel like I'm doing it again. So for me, that's enough motivation, is that people are going to really enjoy this stuff. I do enjoy making them, and I want to tell the whole story. I want to go into the details. There are times where I'm sat there going, oh, I could just leave this bit out because I know that's going to add another 10 minutes in a video, which is 10 minutes in a video could be days, if not weeks, of many, many hours of additional research, writing and editing. But then I'm always like, no, it's going to be worth it, and it always is. So yeah, my greatest motivation is just, I love doing it, and I love reading the comments when people are just appreciating what you do. Do you still play badminton, or are you considering coaching as well? Well, I have been coaching for the last 20 years. Excuse me. I got my coaching qualification level 1 in England, where you can be assistant coach when I was 16, level 2 when I was 18. I'm almost 37 now, so I've been doing it quite a while. And I still coach now. I coach at schools, I coach at a club, just private coaching, club coaching. I don't really coach anyone of an elite level anymore. So yeah, I'm still very much actively coaching, and until possibly YouTube or other avenues around this sort of thing can earn me enough money, then I will continue to coach. And even then I might still continue coaching a bit. Do I still play? Yes, I do play a little bit. I haven't for a while, but me and my wife usually try to play once a week. My wife's a pretty handy player herself, so we have a good hit once a week. And then I still coach Georgina Bland, as in she's kind of like somewhat retired now, or stopped playing. So we kind of more like do some full court drills. So that gets me kind of moving around a singles court, keeping me in shape, I guess. But no, I'm not really playing badminton. I'm not playing competitions. I haven't got any plans to do so in the near future. Might change, but yeah, no, I do still play. Not really to a crazy good level, and I'm definitely not taking it overly seriously. My energy goes into making stuff, like making videos for YouTube, making stuff for BWF, and coaching. What was the best match of your career and your best win? I think it'd be I'd have to say that the best win was when I won the final of the Croatian International in 2010, because that was my only ever senior international title. I also beat Vladimir Malkov from Russia. Some of you might know, he was a decent, very good player. So that was a big win, and it also coincided with me winning my one title that I got, a senior title, international senior title. So I'd have to say that. I've had some, when I played on the European circuit, I had some very close games with a lot of like decent Malaysian players, Indonesians, Japanese. Some of them I didn't win. I lost like 22-20 in the third, but they were still really great matches. I beat a couple of these top Europeans. I beat a Japanese guy, Riichi Takeshita, who you might know. He beat Momota at the All Japan Championships on the year that Momota came back in 2017. He also got to the final of the Taipei Open, and I think he pushed Lin Dan to 3 games. So yeah, I played him a couple of years before then, but it wasn't that long. So that was a really good win. And also just other matches, like I got absolutely killed by like Chen Long. But the experience to be on that court with him was really good, fantastic. So it wasn't my best match by any far. It was clearly not a win, but it was still really fun and just a real experience. So quite a few there, but if I had to pick one, the Croatian international final against Vladimir Malkov. What is my process of doing my research? Any tips for it? My go-to source of information or a useful tool for this? Okay, so quite a lot of questions there. I'll kind of go through my process, but I want to preface this by saying that it's by no means perfect. I'm still kind of working on it. I started by just kind of like going at it almost like full on, like trying to do everything, like as I was researching, writing the script and all sorts, but that just wasn't good. So what I do now, if I take the Momota one, so biographical one, obviously it depends on the kind of video, but say I'm doing a biographical one, so like the Momota one, I'll kind of starting point, end point. So when he first started playing, maybe even before then if I wanted to do a little bit of the build-up, but I haven't done that yet on any video. So for Motors it was 2010 I wanted to start, and obviously 2024. So I'd create a timeline. Then what I would do is once I've got that, I'd go through every single result on tournament software. Okay, Japan Open first round qualifying, Austrian Open, whatever it needs to be, just write everything. Tournament and result, tournament result. And as I'm doing that, if say I notice that the player got, so Momota for this example, got a really good win, I would highlight it and say big win. Or if they won the tournament, it's their first Super Series win, highlight it, first Super Series win. So I'd have like results and then maybe kind of news stories or what's the word for it? I'm not quite sure, but like highlights. So it'd be like in the other column, first Super Series win, first big win over a top 10 player, etc. So you kind of like building. I'd go through all of that, and then I'd go through it again and add in any major events that I can personally remember. So I'd first start by memory. So with Momota again, it would be like, I can remember when I first watched him play, which was at the All England in 2014. Put that in, plus a few little thoughts. 2016, his ban. 2020, the crash. All these little things. And then I would kind of search into those, find loads of links and articles. And I'd have a separate document underneath with articles. So anything I find to substantiate that would go into that, all linked together. Then I would kind of go for a Google search and do year by year. And what that does sometimes is suddenly there might be an article on them telling a story or something that I've never heard of. Something of interest, and then I'd look into it a little bit further. Again, once I've done that, then I would probably ask a few people that I might know on Instagram or whatever. Usually fan clubs. So Momota, I ask a few people that I know post a lot about him, saying, is there any stories that you know from Momota's career that are really interesting or maybe not quite known? And most of the time they come up with some pretty good stuff, because there are people out there that know everything about someone, and so then they will be fitted in. Once I've got all that, I then will find out as many matches, interviews. I would search them on YouTube or on Google, put all those links and stuff into a separate piece underneath. Obviously watch the interviews, watch most of the matches, because I can't watch all of them. That would take me forever. Read as many articles as I can as well. That sometimes gives me quotes and stuff that I can use when I'm scripting. Once I've got all that and I've kind of gone through it all and I can see it in my head, I would kind of do a very rough outline. You know, I'd break it down into parts. Okay, it could be years, or it could be like the early days, first years, whatever, the comeback, whatever it needs to be. An outline, very rough. You know, it's not what I would actually say on screen. And then once I've done that, I would then, if I need to try, you know, sometimes you find there's pieces of the story that you want to fit, but you can't quite get it in. I would spend a little bit of time seeing if I can juggle it in. Does it need to go near the end, or can I piece it here and there? If I can't, then I might leave it to one side. Then I would start on basically fleshing out the outline into a script. Once I get through all of that and I'm happy with it, I've read it through a few times, I've made the changes, I'll record it, and obviously then the edit starts. And even during the edit, sometimes you're picking out a clip and you might hear something a commentator might say on a match, and you're like, oh, that's really good, or that tells a story that might contradict what I've said. So what happened right then, it might actually make me go back, tweak the script, and obviously kind of refilm that bit to kind of like make sure that everything is as correct as it can be. Whilst I'm editing, my lovely wife will then translate every single word into Indonesian, which I thank her endlessly for, and you should too, so thank her in the comments. So once the main edit is done, subtitles go in, then we're good to go. So yeah, that was quite a long-winded answer, but obviously the process isn't short. I'm trying to make it best as I can. Obviously, while I'm editing, I also put everything, all the files download into separate files, and I name them and everything so that when you're editing, it's easy, because there can be hundreds of matches, hundreds of files, and if you haven't organised them, it's going to take you, like, if you ever want to do stuff like this, it'll take you like 10 times as long. So organise your files, try to have everything as organised as you can, and it will make it so much easier. Okay, so if you're still here and you think there's any way I can improve that process, I might not have described it perfectly, then please, again, do let me know, because I'm always looking to try and improve on it. Yeah, any help would be greatly appreciated. But that's the process right now. Resources, the main ones, tournament software I mentioned, YouTube, Google. I've bookmarked a few things like the World Badminton magazine. That's good for older stuff because it goes back all the way to the early 1970s. It's really interesting stories in there. A few other places that I know have older matches. I've just kind of like bookmarked them. But it's all the stuff that anyone else can find. Obviously, I do also ask people. They might have screenshotted something, or they might have remember where a link is, because it could be in Chinese that I would or Japanese. I might find it hard to find. Some of these people, obviously, they will pick that out for me. So I have had a lot of people help me in the past through Instagram and YouTube and stuff. So thanks to you guys. So yeah, that's my process. Let's get on to the last question. It's probably the one that you want to know. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to give you the best answer right now, but I'll try. Any predictions for the Olympics? An inevitable question to be asked at the time of year we're in. I'll be honest, I haven't given it a crazy amount of thought, to the point that I think I can give the best answer possible right here. I do intend to do a video where I'll go through, I'm not sure how many, 3 to 5, probably 5 of my medal contenders, my top picks. I did this the last Olympics for the BWF in a series of videos. I'll probably put it all in one for YouTube, and I can go into, again, more detail. But off the top of my head, again, I'm probably going to miss out some names here. So again, you can give me your own Olympic predictions in the thing. My opinion here, what I say right now, might change in the video, so don't hold me to any of this, but this is what just jumps out at me. So I'll give you like 3. There's way more, especially in the men's events. Holy Jesus, there's a lot. For me, the men's singles, Shi Yuqi is probably is one of my top picks, definitely. I'm not sure that will change. Whew. You know, before like the Singapore Open just started, you'd have had like Christie and it's like Sandra with Christie, and then he goes and loses to Cho incredibly easily. But Xiu Qi, let's just pick 3. Xiu Qi, because he's just been in great form, the French Open where the Olympics will be held. I'm going to have Victor. He's been a lot, he's starting to kind of show sign, this is difficult, but I think one big thing when it comes to the Olympics is experience. He's had it and he's won it, so I think that's going to play a big part on him. If I was to pick one more, this is really, really hard. I did a video on it for BWS, so I can't really shy away from this, but there are others, but I really think Kunlevat. I do really like the way that he plays, but I think that he's building up towards something and he could definitely be within the medals. Okay, I did say 3, so I'll stick with those 3. Xiu Qi, Kunlevat and Victor. I know there's more, so don't get angry at me. I know I could probably pick, you could probably name 8 to 10. Men's doubles is pretty much the same. You could probably also argue for that. But I think with the French Open being a good indicator, and the fact they played really well at the last Olympics, Rankireddy and Shetty are a good bet. They do tend to bring it when it comes to quite big tournaments. I'll go, Rankireddy and Shetty, Kang and So. Pick one more out of the rest, Jesus.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, Rankireddy and Shetty, Kang and So, and
2 hours later.
Liang and Wang, just because Chinese pairs just seem to be very good at always peaking for the big events, and yeah, they can be sometimes a bit shaky, especially Liang, Wei Keng, but they can also bring it. So I'll go with those 3, but it could be, there's loads of other pairs. Women's singles, I thought this was going to be an easy one. I think, again, 3, Chen Yufei, An Seong, and won't be a popular opinion, but I think Marin. She's just going to make herself very difficult to beat. Yeah, I'd love to say Taizing and Yamaguchi, especially Yamaguchi's one of my favourites, but I'm not sure about fitness levels going into the Olympics, but who knows. I think Chen Yufei is looking very good. An Seong, if that injury isn't too bad, yeah. Okay, so An Seong, Chen Yufei, and I'll pick Marin. I'd love to have said someone else, but women's doubles, Chen and Jia, Beikhan Ali Sohee, and Matsuyama and Shida. I'll pick those 3. Mixed doubles, okay, the 2 Chinese, Zheng Siwei, Wang Yachong, Feng Yangze, Wang Dongping, and Sun Che. Yeah, I'll go with those 3. Again, like I said, I think it's one of the most open Olympics. There were so many events. Let's just say I'll finish with this. There were so many events where, had you asked me last year, if we just go back less than a year, it seemed that most events, minus the men's doubles, seemed to have a definitive, they're your favourite. You had Victor, you had An Seong. Mixed doubles was Zheng and Wang, and I still think they're pretty much ahead. But there's question marks. There's question marks now. But yeah, no, it's going to require me a lot more thought, a lot more looking into it. So I will most likely, I'm not 100% guaranteed, but I will most likely do a video on this. So watch out for that one. And on that note, guys, thanks again for watching this video. Thanks ever so much for all the subscribers, for subscribing to my channel, and thanks for all the likes, comments, shares, etc. I hope this channel can continue to grow, and the next time you see me doing one of these, it will be for 10,000. I wonder when that will be. There's a question to finish on. When do you think I'll be hitting 10,000 subscribers? More important than who will win the Olympics, let's be honest here. See you later, guys.